So do you have any strategies for mitigating? Like, what if you're thinking about doing something, what do you look at to sort of separate good risk and bad risk?
Good risk, for me, has a few characteristics. Two of the key characteristics would be high 90+% likelihood of developing or deepening skills that will transfer to other things.
Okay.
Whether now or in the future, even if this project fails. Another characteristic of good risk would be developing relationships that can transcend this project, even if it fails. And this is borrowing from Scott Adams quite a bit, the creator of Dilbert, who talks a lot about this type of thing, how to win even if a project fails. Another characteristic of good stress would be something that will help me to develop attributes or emotional resilience, or to take things less seriously, which I think often go together. Right? To try something that is scary to me or to most people that I can demystify in such a way that it's less intimidating. Right? The podcasting and doing 6 episodes is a great example. Because in the beginning, the idea of podcasting in my head was having this big studio and all this equipment and it's This American Life with a staff of 40 people. And no, it's not. After doing 6 episodes, it's like, oh, all right, actually I'm not scared by audio at all. Because these mics, these cables, and the recorder that's on this chair are like $500 and you're locked and loaded. And the editing is actually pretty straightforward. So those are 3 characteristics of good risk. And then bad risk, I think, is largely a function of allowing unknowns that don't need to be unknowns. And so I do a lot of homework for many of my bets. If I'm looking at, say, Austin, right? I want to understand what the landscape, political, legal, and so on, looks like in Austin. I want to look at population growth. I want to look at employment growth. I want to look at median home costs and how prices are moving, not just in Austin, but compared to my other options on the table.
So the opportunity cost of the decision.
It's a relative decision. It's not an absolute decision. Because and I'm also going to look at, let's say if I stay in San Francisco, what are the risks of the status quo? Like what are the knowns that I dislike? And then what are the possible changes that I might dislike? So not just looking at the potential upside and downside and pros and cons of the new option, but comparing it to the current option. That sounds so self-evident, but it is not common practice, right? Most people just assume, all right, this is my known, and I'm going to look at the risks and pros and cons of this new option. I'm always looking at relative. I'm looking at not just opportunity cost, but the sort of relative attractiveness, right? And that can apply to just about anything. I mean, it can apply to startups, certainly. And in terms of bad risk, I do look at financial risk. I look at reputational risk. I look at legal liability risk, and I do more comprehensive risk assessment than I do opportunity assessment, in part because I want to look for asymmetric bets, in the sense that if I know I can cap my downside, that there is little or I can manage or completely eliminate reputational and legal risk by asking for, let's say, an indemnity clause and having a written record of what we agree my responsibilities will or will not be, and I'm putting in $50,000. In a sense, if I can control my time that is allocated to this, my max downside risk is 50%. But if I'm investing in software as a service,
it's 50,000. You mean?
Sorry, $50,000. If though I'm investing in a sector, in a vertical, in a type of company like software as a service or whatever, that has comparables which show 100x returns, 1,000x returns, I'll take that bet all day long. Right? If the team and so on give it a reasonable likelihood of success, that is a great asymmetric bet. And I think you can do that outside of investing in startups. I think investing helps to hone the questions you ask and the types of lens through which you look at things, and how you might consider arbitrage and so on. But Austin for me is a very simple bet where it's easy to cap the downside.